Hey, thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. You are listening to the Scientology Exit Underground Freedom Train as it rolls along, and this is the Friday surprise. And here is Mr. Anonymous for any of you who've been missing him. Is this exciting or what? Yes. Okay, hang on. I gotta turn this off. The train is stopping. Okay, you guys, great news. Okay, now I'm going to just do a recap, but there's a whole nother surprise that's coming on this. So, but people keep calling me saying, wow, I didn't even know about this, or new people post, or, this is, I just found out about it. So if you have, this is what happened. Monday, my friend called saying, basically her daughter was kicked out of Narcan. If you just say anything against L. Ron Hubbard or anything, they kick you out, right? So they kicked her out. Can somebody pick her up in Oklahoma? Who do you know? I don't know anybody in Oklahoma. So we start talking, and finally she goes, well, why don't you post it on your Facebook account? Can anybody help? So I'm like, all right. So I make a post on Facebook. Can anybody pick up this girl? Somebody that's not a Scientologist. You're not part of a front group. Can you pick her up? And it starts rolling. And these guys are fantastic. I mean, all of you that have helped on this, I can't tell you how much it means. Anyway, basically, somebody comes up with the idea of we can ship in money. I talked to Mark Bunker. Can we use your PayPal? He goes, you're on. The next 2 days, all the money that comes in will go to the daughter, right? So the money starts rolling in, and we get Hailey out of Narconon. She's in a hotel. She gets on the plane. It turns out her father had paid for the ticket, the plane ticket, right? Which I didn't find out until after this is already rolling along, right? And so I'm like, really? I'm talking to the mother, and I'm like, the ticket's paid for? And she goes, yeah, but he didn't pay for her luggage to get on. So I'm like, oh, we got to get her some money. But I called the airport, and they're like, no, we're not going to take any cash. She has to go to a Western Union. And there's no Western Unions around there. And so we're like, this is just awful, right? So because now we've got the money, but we can't get it to her, right? So finally, she's in line, and they say you have to pay for not one suitcase, but two, right? And she goes, all right, just give me my money back. I'll take a bus. And a guy in line, and I mean, this is just so incredible. This guy in line pays for not one suitcase of $25, but the second one for $35. Just pays for it. Out. And it's just like, oh my God. So now the mother calls me crying, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. We got her on the plane. Because all the way I'm like afraid they're going to stop her or something weird's going to happen, So, okay, now she's on the plane. So we know she's going, and she'll be there Tuesday, right? She'll be home Tuesday afternoon. And I think I posted it. She's home. But in the meantime, this money's coming in, and she had said, listen, there's a really dear friend of mine who's getting kicked out tomorrow. Could we help him? And she told her mom that. Her mom asked me. I asked Bunker, and we said, all right, let's get him a bus ticket. Because the mother, we knew, was going to need clothing for the daughter, food for the daughter. She's had a real struggling time herself. So we thought, all right, we can use the money for them once they get there, and we'll let him take the bus. Because the mom wanted to spend a little time with her daughter and get kind of her settled in. So we thought, all right, he can take the bus, that'll work. And he was like, oh my God, you would do that? And I'm like, yeah. Because he calls me. I said, have Jeffrey call me. So Jeffrey calls me. I talk to him. I think Tuesday night I talked to him. And he says, yes, I definitely, they're taking me to the Greyhound station at 6. Well, they only have one bus that leaves, and it's at 7:40. And it's a 90-minute drive. So it's this big, can he get to the bus station in time? Which, of course, he couldn't. We stay in touch. He keeps calling me. You guys don't know this, but this is like a 2-for-1. Bunker and I figure, all right, it's a 2-for-1. It's like, and I had to kind of we had to make this decision, is it okay with you guys? Because to put it on the internet saying, is it okay, then I knew Narconon would be kind of on it to screw with this guy. There's a good chance. In Narconon, you guys can say you don't, but you do. And we know you do. So you've lost that game as far as, oh no, we don't do that kind of thing. You didn't maybe this time, but you have. And I was on a radio station with the father where the kid said one bad thing about L. Ron Hubbard. They pitched him out of Narconon, put him in a motel with $50. Now the dad's on the radio station saying, I want my money back. I paid for the whole thing. They threw my kid out. Would they give him the money back? No. Bob Adams, who's the Church of Scientology's PR, came to the radio station where Vince Daniels and I were talking about this. And I said, Bob, you look like an idiot. The father paid for this. Give him his money back. No. So anybody thinking about putting your kid in Narconon, you listen to these stories. This is one daughter who's pitched out. Now the next kid is pitched out. Anybody else who wants to get pitched out, come on out. Narconon, you're doing a great job on this. Okay, so anyway, it's a big catch-22, but we decided, okay, it's a 2-for-1. We're pretty sure all of you guys would be happier getting 2 people out than 1. And we've got the daughter safely on the plane. Now we've got to get him on the bus, right? So he's in the van. He calls me. He's not going to make it. So I say, okay, we got to get you some money. Do you want to spend the night in a motel? We could put you up in a motel. No, he's been in the military. He's a really strong kid or young man. And so he says, no, leave it be. I can sleep all night in the bus station. And so I say, okay, let's get you to, and I'm looking up on the internet, like a Western Union something to get him some money, right? So Bunker goes down and sends the mother some money for the daughter because we know she's going to need clothes when she gets to Montana because it's freezing. And so the mother's had her own struggling time with all this. So we send her some money, and then we send Jeffrey $100, right? Which we figure, we didn't want to send him too much because, we wanted to spread this thing out. But we sent him some for food. They dump him off at some Western Union or some money place. Now he has to take a cab back to Greyhound, which costs half the money, or $40. Then he had to pay for his suitcase, I think on Greyhound or something. So by the time he gets to Kansas City the next day, he calls me in Kansas City, and he's like, I'm here, I'm in Kansas City, I'm on my way. And it's kind of a long route. He has to go to Kansas City, then South Dakota, then one part of Montana, and then back home to where Sandy is and Hailey. So I'm like, okay, so you're in Kansas City. I'm a mom. So he's like, hey, you know what? I'm cool. I was in the service. We lived on a rat in Afghanistan for a month. I'm like, you lived on a rat? I mean, it's just sort of like, wow, this is incredible. So I said, no, I don't want you not eating for 3 days. We have money, but again, it's this, figuring out how to get your money to him, but there's no Western Union, right? And we don't, anyway, so I say, I'll go on Facebook. Facebook has just been fabulous on this. So I post on Facebook, is there anybody in Kansas City who can help someone on another situation, right? I don't want to say what it is, because I know Scientology, and I know they could screw with this guy, even though I can tell he's a tough guy, but I also know who they are. So I don't really want to get into it. So sure enough, someone sends me a thing. I think I know someone, and she hooks me up with, Michelle hooks me up with Bernie, who is Mark Headley's father. And I talked to Bernie, which is really great, because I guess we've been posting in various different ways, but I didn't know that was Mark Headley's dad, because I think he just signs it Bernie. So anyway, now we talk, and it's like, oh, cool, and so I said, is there any way you can go down there and just get him some food for the next few days, like nuts and some fruit and stuff like that he can carry along, and a jacket, because I can tell, he said, it's getting colder as we're getting farther north. So he says, yeah, okay. So I called, so Bernie says, okay, I'm down there. He gets down there. He gets to the Greyhound station. He meets the kid. He says, he's a really nice looking kid. And the first thing the kid says is, you don't have to do this. And Bernie says, I know I don't have to do this. I want to do it. So, and Bernie has a daughter who is still in Scientology, who he hasn't been able to speak to for, I think, 7 years. So, you know what I mean? It's like all of us have a love in this way to connect up these families. I mean, this was my thing. I wasn't going to speak out at all when I escaped out in 2000, at all. But then I started talking to so many families who lost their daughters or their sons or their wife or their husband, and I thought, you know what? I can't just say nothing. This is not okay. And I started speaking out for families, saying, stop breaking up families, right? My family. I haven't been able to talk to my husband in 20, I was married to him 27 years. He hasn't talked to me, said a word in 11 years. It's just sort of like, that's it. Disconnection. It's awful. It's just an awful thing. It shouldn't be. So anyway, I'm here and I'm so happy. So the next day, now he's in Kansas City. He gets on the bus. I've got the little schedule, but then I don't hear from him the next day, which is yesterday, all day. And the mother's calling me, and Hailey, and now we got the photograph, and I'm putting that on the internet thanks to one of my friends who stayed up till 4 in the morning with me getting it on the internet, because I didn't know, believe it or not, I don't know how to get photographs. I know how to do a video, but I didn't know how to get this photograph onto the internet. I know, it's awful, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, now, we don't hear from him all day yesterday, and I'm like, ay, ay, ay. But I'm talking to the mom and Hailey, and we're all like, you know, he's a really tough guy. I think he's okay. I really do. We all decide he's probably just really exhausted from all the shit he'd gone through at Narconon, which he is going to talk about. That was the other thing. Tony Ortega popped on early on and said, I want to interview him. I said, you're on. And now we've got a couple other people, too, that are interested. So this is a good thing. So today, this morning, I talked to Sandy and Hailey last night, and I said, as soon as he comes, please call me. So they called me this morning. We're here. He's here. We got him. So now I've got to go to the email, get their photograph, and get that on so you can see all of them. But anyway, from all of us, this has been a monumentally wonderful thing where all these people from around the world have come together to help these two young people. And when you hear their stories, you're going to even be more blessed that you hopped on this underground freedom train and helped these guys. But thank you, and I thank you. You know, like Sandy said, if we could put our arms around you and hug each one of you, we would. And truly, that's the way I feel too. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Celebrate and continue to just feel good inside that you did something really life-changing with this, and it's going to just keep getting better. So I love you guys. Peace out.